Occasionally, you'll want to do a spot check or perform an audit on the data that is in your database. And while you don't want or need to review every single record, it would make sense to review a random sampling of the information that you're storing. Let's suppose you needed to do a customer survey of 50 customers, and you wanted to be sure to get random customers to call so you don't introduce bias into the survey results. Here's how we can have Access pull up the records for us. I'm going to go create a new query in Design View. This time we'll add our customers table and then close the Show Table window. Let's go ahead and add a few fields. I want customer ID, their first name, their last name. I'll need their phone number so I know what to call. And I think that's all I need here. So let's go ahead and go into this last column here and use a random function to generate a serial number for them. I'll right-click and go to Build. Here I'm going to go into my functions. We'll go into Built-in Functions. I'll click on the Math category here, and we'll click on this function here. It's RND, which stands for rand. I'll double-click on it to add it up here into my expression. Now the random function requires that we feed it a number here to act as a seed for the random number generation. In order to do that, let's go ahead and just feed it the customer ID value that's already in our table. We'll go into the database, into the tables, and then select the customers table. Then I'll double-click on customer ID to add that value up here inside of the rand function. Let's go ahead and give it a new alias here. I'll click at the beginning and I'll type random. Now let's go ahead and say OK. If we run our query, we can see the results. I have this random calculation here that's generating a random number for our customers. If I refresh the data, you'll see that these random numbers get updated. Let's go ahead and switch back into Design View. Now what we can do for our query is go over to the sort row and change that we want to sort based off of this random number, either ascending or descending. It doesn't really matter. And then finally, we're going to come up to this return box up here to the top. Instead of returning all records, I only want to return 50 records. When I press Run, Access will randomly generate a number here and then return the 50 customers that those random numbers are attached to. This technique is particularly useful in scientific analysis, where data scientists might want to identify samples to perform additional tests on, but want to choose those samples in a way that won't introduce any bias to the experiment. By randomizing the records first and then applying a top values parameter, you can let the computer pull the random sample for you.